Hello, everyone. Today we're going to be doing more stuff with ships, but we're going to do something a little different. As you could probably guess by looking at the game board, we're going to be looking at spaceships. Specifically, we're going to be looking at a game Rust. This is really, really cool game, and one of my favorite reasons cool the fact you can pick up your own copy of this for off the internet by literally googling Rust Remixed. Now, this is definitely a more simplified system compared to something they usually do. Take a look at the other ones a little later on, but for now, this is really, really cool. So, what is Full Thrust all about? Basically, you have two sides, and they're going to go out and battle with each other, and they're going to try to destroy each other like usual, such as there's active space monsters, stuff like that. So anyway, let's take a look at our combatants. We have the left team here. We have A and B, Alpha and Bravo. These are both cruisers. And then the right team are going to be made up of 3 frigates slash destroyers. These guys are kind of small for that. So anyway, let's go ahead and begin with our initial deployment here. Whoops, I didn't mean to actually. Whoa, 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 whoa. I think I got my snap a little too fixed up there and put it right back where we'll put this back to fit. All right, let's go ahead and grab our 2 dice. We're going to have them in a fairly wide formation here, which for me is a little unusual, but I'm going to make the best of it, like pretty much anything. I'm going to go ahead and shut off snap because we really don't need the object snap to any snap. Go ahead and disable that for now because you don't actually snap on this game. Much better. Okay, so now we're going to grab our destroyers. We're going to throw them up on the map also. Start them from the opposite side. We're going to offer those guys also. And I'm just debating what format that I want to have these guys try to approach it. I'm guessing I want maybe like an echelon formation, or maybe I really. Whenever you have superior numbers, you always want to try to keep things a little bit wider, especially if you're in space when communication is relatively. So anyway, I've gone ahead and deployed. Yeah, I'm gonna go for a little bit tighter of a form. I can always break the formation up later. Okay, I'm happy with that. All right, so now our 2 teams are deployed. So now we're going to go ahead and take a look at the rules. First thing we do is we're supposed to secretly write our orders for our mission. I'm going to skip that step, but basically what you do is you get a little index card and you write out, the ship accelerates the speed, mountain things along those lines. I'm actually going to skip that for now because, again, I'm playing against myself here. As far as ship goes, it's actually really, really simple. If you're making any movement changes or anything along those lines, it describes, the basic process. There's actually a technique in here that allows you to go ahead and vector movement as opposed to kind of what they call cinematic movement, which again, it's definitely an interesting way to approach these things, but it gets interesting to say the least. But again, I really appreciate that. And it allows you to do these like sliding, gunfires and all those. So that's really, really cool. So anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and scribble down my notes. Okay, my notes have all been written down. So now we go ahead and reveal. So I'm going to order my cruiser, accelerate to speed 4, and to go ahead and go. How do we know they can go 4? It says right there. Meanwhile, my frigate slash destroyers, I'm going to order them all up to speed 6 and to proceed straight. So we're going to go ahead and get out our handy dandy ruler. We're going to go ahead and measure out 4 inches allowed to move. Again, these guys are moving essentially together. Swinging over on this side, these guys went up to 6. And they're going to swing about this point. So next what would happen is, take a look, we write that all out. We're supposed to roll for initiative first, but I skipped that step because it doesn't matter yet. So we'll do that in the next step. Now we go ahead and move on to fighter groups. None of those. We go to launch missiles. Not going to use them. Move ships. We just did that. Allocate missile and fighter attacks. Not that. Point defense. Nope. Missile and fighter attacks. Ships fire. So normally what would happen is if the side that won initiative would get the first shot. So in this case, his range is 24, so he's way out of range. So that just ain't going to happen. That turn is pretty much bust, and we move on to the next turn. So the next turn, we're going to secretly write our orders out against. Okay, that looks good. Let's go ahead and reveal our orders. But before we do that, we're going to roll for it correctly. To the left side of the table, right side of the table. It's like the right side of the table goes first, which means if there's any shooting, they get to do first shot. So anyway, I've ordered these guys to spin up to speed 8, and I've ordered these guys to spin up to speed 12. Notice there's no top speed, like there is no top speed base. We're going to close that distance very quickly so that we can go ahead and do the speed. You know what I mean? All right, so now we'd have to move everybody together. These guys are now going 8 per turn at that point. But these guys are all in do 12 units per turn. I think we actually might be in range for a first shot. Find out in a second. Go ahead and spin these guys all the way up to that point, and we are good to go. All right, so how do weapons work? Now we go ahead and do this other phases, but we're good. So basically, this number tells you how many units of 12 that you have range for. In this case, a 2 would mean that I'd have 24 range. We're going to go ahead and measure from center to center, and we can see that we have a range of 40. So we're painfully out of range. This is why missiles are nice to have. So now we move on to the next turn. So we're going to go ahead and do it again. We go ahead and write our orders down. Okay? And then we're going to go ahead and reveal our orders and go ahead and do things. So doing some quick math in the top of my head, these guys are going to actually spin up all the way to 10. Again, they're going to maintain going straight because they do a lot of damage if they point at what they shoot at. These guys, however, are going to go ahead and mix things up a little bit in order to make things difficult for the target. X, of course, is the guy who's on the left side. So he's actually going to spool up all the way to 18. Y is also going to spool up to 18. And also going to 18. That's a lot of speed. But again, we want to do some initiative action. This is the left, right. We're supposed to do that before we move anybody reveal. So it looks like the guys on the left are going to get to shoot first, no matter what. Or the right guys on the right get to shoot first, no matter what. All right, now we move everybody their speeds. These guys are going 10. And these guys are now going 18. So we're going to close the range extremely fast. In the next turn, the maneuvering will start. Okay, we are now in range. Haha. So in this game, ships are basically combat effective until you pummel them out of existence. So I can't recommend this enough. Concentrate fire, especially if you're in a situation where you have a very powerful ship against a very weak ship, which we have in this. Okay, so how do we shoot? If you remember, the right side of the table won initiative. They get to shoot first. So first of all, we're going to go ahead and measure range. We're going to concentrate all our fire on this guy over here. Right? B, that's a range of 15, 16. Which means any weapons that are the ones, which have a 12-inch range, 12-unit range, are out of range. But these two guys are in range. Lucky. So who is this? This is X. So X is going to attack B. So let's go find X. We have 2 of these. How many dice does that mean? It would normally mean 4 dice for the attack. However, since we're at a range greater than 12 and less than 24, we only get 1 dice per shot we're firing. Also, it's in the correct firing arc. Let's go ahead and roll and see what happens. So we have a 3, which does nothing, and then we have a 6, which does a guaranteed damage. So we're going to go ahead and put this to the side. Now we're going to go ahead and roll damage again. Actually, just 2 points of damage. Correction. We get a 6 again. Wow. That means we get to roll again. And we get a 5. So what does this add up to? The 2 points of damage immediately go into the computer. Then the next 2 points of damage skip the armor and do normal damage, and then a single point of damage is also administered. So 3 points of damage are going to go to the body, points are going to go to the armor. Again, this was for B. That was an extremely lucky hit. So we're going to take 2 hits to the armor, 1, 2, 3 hits to the actual body of the crew. So that puts us, we're dented up a little bit, but you'll see that these cruisers can dish just as much as they can take. So now we alternate, and the other player gets a shot. So obviously B is like, that wasn't very nice of you, X, and decides to return the favor. So he gets 1, 2, 3 dice to attack with. So it looks like he's returned the favor quite nicely. So that's a guaranteed 4 hits to immediately, but we have to go ahead and roll to see if we do any additional damage as well. No, that's too bad. So 4 hits immediately are applied to poor X right here. So we're going to go ahead and mark off 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we have a threshold hit. Uh-oh. So what is a threshold hit? Whenever you hit one of these little stars on your hull boxes, you need to roll to see what breaks on your ship. Since this is the first time this has happened, we only have to roll basically a 1 against all of our systems. So we're going to go ahead and take, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 system. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think I need 2 more dice. 9, 10. Wow, that's a lot of dice. So we're going to go ahead and start from the top left after arranging all. Okay, so this is what breaks. So let's see. 3, no. 3, no. 6, no. 3, no. So all the weapons are in good order so far. 5 goes directly to here, no problem. And now the damage starts. Fire control hit. We have this system is also damaged. And this is okay. This system's okay. And our FTL drive is out of order. That is a shame. At the end of the turn, our damage control crews will try to do the best we can to try to put those 2 items back in order. If I recall correctly, if you actually check, let's see here. That is a command bridge hit. So if the command bridge takes a hit, roll a d6 immediately. On a 1 to 5, the ship is out of control for this many turns. Go ahead and roll that real quick. 4 turns. So this ship has no control, is literally going to shoot off the map for 4 turns. So I'm not going to say it's no longer combat effective. It's out of control. Continue on its present course and velocity. Cannot fire, launch fire. Yeah, it's out. I'm not going to say that was a mission kill, but I'm pretty confident that was a mission kill. So anyway, that puts him completely out of action. I'll go ahead and collect all my dice here and get them kind of out of the way. So he's literally just going to keep going straight right off the map. Let's go ahead and leave ourselves a couple notes using dice that we've done some serious damage here. Go ahead and grab this red dice. So his fire control is out of action. And if you recall correctly, here, I shut off the snap. It's getting a little sneaky today. Our fire control is out of action, and our, like I was saying, command bridge is also taking a direct hit, which means that for the next 4 turns, we have no ability to control our ship, which means we're going to proceed at speed 18 right off the map. So now we go back to the other team. So now Y is going to try to concentrate all fire into, now that we've gotten a little bit, first blood kind of a thing. So Y, let's take a look, is right there. We're going to measure center to center. Gives us a range of 16. Everything is in his front arc. He's going to be rolling 2 dice. So let's go ahead and clear the table off a little bit here. 1, 2. Give him a good jiggle. Give him a roll. Let's see what happens. So we score a single hit against poor B here. Coming over to poor B, that goes right into the armor. And, he's getting a little dented up here, but it's not too bad. So now it is the turn of the other guy. This is going to be A. A is going to take a shot into Y. I don't think, yeah, he is. He's certainly got all his front arcs ready to go. So he gets 1, 2, 3 dice to attack with. 3. Let's see what happens. Miss, miss, miss. That happens. So now, of course, it is our friend Z's turn to go ahead and try to attack. He's also going to take a shot all the way into a poor B over here because he knows this is the only way they're going to win this. He gets 2 dice to do it with. Find out what happens. Ah, look at that. So that's guaranteed 2 damage. It's also a possibility for reroll. So let's see what happens. Another 2 damage. Another reroll. Okay, so 4 damage. So since his armor's already been compromised, we're actually going to go ahead. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we need a threshold roll for B. I said you got to concentrate your fire. It's the only way you're going to be successful in a game like this. So now we have to roll a couple times for him. He has quite a few systems. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 systems. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a D20. I'm going to grab a D12, actually. No, that's not going to be the correct probability. 1 in 6 times 12. Hold on a second. 1 out of 6 is a 0.1667 times 6. Okay, 1, 7, 12. But it's out of that value. I'm just doing the math really, really quickly. Carry the 1, so that's 1 in 6, but you're rolling it twice. So that's going to be, 2 of the systems will get damaged. But normally what you're going to have to do is roll a dice for every one of this. So we'll go ahead and do that. So no to that phaser. No to that phaser. No to that phaser. No to that phaser. Keep the phasers. No to that phaser. First PDF. Nope. Next one. Nope. Fire control 1. Nope. Fire control 2. Nope. Wow. Force field. Nope. FTL drive. Nope. Command bridge. Nope. Life support. And propulsion. That was insane. So even though it got a critical hit, it didn't actually take any damage. Wow. Okay, so that is the end of that turn. So now we move on to the next turn. So we're going to secretly write all our orders. This requires a little bit of strategy now. The nice thing about this game, everything's open book. So we know that this poor guy, X, is just going to keep on doing his thing right off the map. So I'm going to let him scoot off and crash. Well, he won't crash. He'll just be wild, basically. By the way, he does get a damage control roll. So he's got 2 down systems. He only has 1 damage control party because he's tiny. Of course, going to try to fix the bridge. And he gets a 1. What does that mean? The fire control system is fixed. Interesting. So they actually were able to fix the bridge damage. Go figure. All right, so now we're going to secretly write down our orders. And now we're going to go ahead and execute our order. So what's going to happen here? We're closing very quickly. So both cruisers are actually going to slow down. Don't forget to roll initiative, by the way. Left gets a 5, right gets a 2. That means left gets a first this time. That's good. All right, so these 2 guys have done that. These guys are going to keep their speed up significantly. X, now that he's got control, but now he has no control system. He's actually unable to engage anyway. I would think he'd try to retreat or at least try to go wide. So he's going to go straight, and he's actually going to spin up even more speed. He's going to take a speed up to, I'm going to take it all the way to 20. Normally he'd go even faster, but I need to get him out of here. These guys, meanwhile, are going to do a bunch of like 3 or 4 point turns this second. So let's go ahead and move these 2 guys first. So they're coming forward 6 inches. I'm actually going to. That's really sketchy, but we have to follow the orders we wrote. These guys are going to come forward 6 inches. X, which I believe I just said was going to keep continuing straight. He's going to be coming at 20. He's going to try to pass them and back around again. Going to go all the way to here. Y, let's see here. This is Y. I've got 18. I'm going to do 3 points of turn here. So 1. So we do 1 point. Come forward 6. Ooh. Take my next point. Forward 6. Then I'm going to do my next point. Of course, I got to come forward another 6. So we're doing the sweetie swoop here as we just zing by at full speed. Z's going to do the same thing. 6. Then he's going to go ahead and finish his turn. Going to go 6 again. Then he's going to go ahead and take another 6 like this. So we have now passed each other quite aggressively, and this is where the game kind of starts to get interesting. Okay, so the left table was not left anymore. It's the cruisers got the initiative this time. So we're gonna opt to fire. Let's see, X is hurting pretty bad. Who's this? This Z is completely unscathed. I have 2 fire control systems. What's my range to? Yeah, plenty within range. I don't think I have anything that can shoot backwards, though. 2 can shoot backwards. This was X. Okay, so since I have 2 fire control systems, I'm going to fire one of my number 2 batteries. Yeah, that's out of that firing arc. Study that a little bit. Yeah, not in the firing arc. So we're going to go ahead and use my number 2 direct, because he's in range still. Yeah, we're going to use my number 2 directly at this guy, and then we're going to use both of my number 1s directly at this guy. So let's start with my number 2. My 2B. I'm going to attack this guy first. We do 1 point of damage to X. Now I'm going to use my 2 number 1s to try to attack the guy who literally just buzzed me. We do 6, which means 2 points of damage. We get a reroll. Okay, 2 points of damage. So this was Z takes 2. So Z, 1. Let's see why it's important to win initiative. Okay, it is now the destroyer's turn. So our first destroyer, let's see here. Y, I think everything is a little behind him. No, it technically could probably get a shot off. Is number one, is two number ones. He can't use it. I'd say that goes into his rear arc. Technically, you can't fire into your rear arc, but I'm not really concerned about that too much because it, looks like he could. So let's go ahead and see here. Actually, that might be his side left arc. So he's going to go ahead and use number ones also. Again, this is Y. This is Y. So we're going to use our two number ones and try to attack guy right here, who is alpha. So that is 2 misses. Then the initiative goes back to the player. So this guy is now, of course, kind of raging mad here. Yeah, that's like it is in that arc, actually. So he's got 2 2s he could employ in that direction. And is he in range to use ones against this guy? Yes, he is. So he's going to use both of his ones against X, it looks like. 5, we get a reroll. That's 2 damage right away, and that's a new. That's a total of 3 damage. 3 damage comes X's direction. The nice thing about having 2 fire control computers. And X has just been removed from the map. Thank you for playing. Unfortunately, he had initiative left, so he can't actually attack. Now we're going to go ahead and use our 2s. We have 2 sets of 2s that are in the correct arc there. That's going to give us 4 dice total. And this one doesn't count. Let's see, that is a 2 hits. We have to re-roll because 6. The 3, so we only do damage. Y takes damage. 2 damage. Is this Y? This is Y. 2 damage to Y. Whoop, and whoop. Okay. So unfortunately, since this guy was did I just confuse me? No, this is Y. That's Y, right? No, I'm good. I'm good. 2 damage. Okay, unfortunately, X is out of the game, so he's not actually able to do any attacks. You have to be really careful of that sometimes, and expect players to pick up on that. So what do we do now? So let's see here. These cruisers are obviously going to have to turn. They're going to have to turn really sharp. These destroyers definitely overplayed their hand a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and secretly write down orders. Okay. So now before we execute our orders, we'll go left initiative, we'll go right initiative. Let's see if the destroyers get revenge. No. Looks like the cruisers are going to go ahead and get another round at it. So the orders for the cruisers, I think, was very clever. They're going to execute a nice little turn. So we're going to execute half of our turn. We're going to come forward 3. We're going to execute the rest of our turn like that. This guy's going to do the exact same things. Part of our turn now. We're going to 3. Come forward the rest of the 3, and we are good to go. Our destroyer buddies realize they have overshot a bit and have ordered a massive speed change. They're reducing down to 12, and they are also going to be executing a bit of a turn of their own. So this destroyer has 12, so he's going to do a 6 and a 6 to try to execute his turn here. So he's going to start by doing his turn. He's going to come forward 6. And then he's going to go ahead and all the way over here and look ridiculous because he's like 20 miles away. This other guy is going to do the same maneuver. I guess you got to watch out for that overshoot. And he's going to come spinning around at that point. And we're good to go. Now, left side got initiative again, which means they get to open fire first. So, whoa, got to flip things around here. It looks like B is going to try to engage his head measure center to center to get range. 16. So B can only attack with his starboard side weapons. So B, fortunately, if you remember, it has this guy and he has this guy. So dice and attack. That is a lot of nothing. So unfortunately, nothing's affected. So now Y on the flip side, I'm pretty confident has no shot. Yeah, he doesn't. But does he have a shot over here? Yes, he does have a shot, believe it or not, into the tail pipe of B. So that's only going to be with his starboard batteries. Again, this is Y. We got to make sure Y. So he's got just the starboard. He gets a single dice. You never know. Not today. So he's fired. So now we're going to go ahead and grab the other cruiser, who's guy B, and B's going to try to use left side as starboard side and try to take some shots there. Looks like he's only going to get 2 dice also to attack. So we got to guarantee 2 damage. This is on Z. Got to re-roll 2 damage plus nothing. So we get 2 damage on Z. Z. Mark off 2 damage points. Uh-oh. Threshold. So we're going to go ahead and roll thresholds for him. Take a second. So we'll start with his that phaser up front. Nope. Other phaser. Nope. Other phaser. Nope. Other phaser. Nope. Point defense system. Oh, point defense system is out of order. Fire control system. Nope. Let's see. Bridge. Bridge hit. Life support. Power. And faster than light drive. Good. Okay, so that was a bridge hit, which means we need to go ahead and roll a one of these guys right quick. Okay, so he's 4 turns with no bridge unless he's able to repair it. Make a copy of that dice there. So that was an amazing hit. So that's definitely going to cause some complications a little later on. So now we're going to go ahead and fire. He can't fire now because he had that bridge hit. So we're into the turn. We're going to go ahead and do our damage control real quick. He needs a 1 or better. Can't do better than to fix the bridge hit. And he got it. That's the second time that's happened today. So he's fine. And now we move on to the next turn. Now, again, things are a little interesting. The ships are really getting dented up. A has not gotten hit at all. Z's definitely smoking. Y's definitely got a couple holes inside of him. So we're going to really, really close that range damage. So we're going to go ahead and secretly write down our orders again. Okay, looks good. So now we're going to move on to our next turn. So we're going to roll initiative first. Right side, this is for left side. Let's see how we do. We have a 1 against a 6. Looks like the destroyers get today. That guy away real quick. So the destroyers, of course, are going to finish their turn. What is the current speed of this destroyer? I think he's going to he's got to slow down. Slow down. You can do up to 4 at a time, so 6 at a time, I should say. Going to come all the way down to speed 6, and he's going to arc around real quickly. That's going to work really well for him because that way he just damage. Oh wait a minute. Got to turn first. There we go. So his buddy's going to do the exact same thing. He's also slow down. Up there are both. He's also going to be slowing down. So part of his turn. Forward. The other part of his turn. And just about pass each other. 2 ships passing in the night, right? Okay. So the cruisers, of course, have opted to keep their speed also at 6. It's working really well for them. So they're going to go ahead and execute their turn. He's going to come forward a little bit. Good. Go ahead and finish his turn up. Good. This guy's going to take a slightly more aggressive turn. Again, this would all had to have been written before you did it. Kind of keep that in mind that I'm skipping that step. Okay, we're good. Now we go to the firing phase. Destroyers get to fire first this time. So he's opting to go ahead and attack. Z's going to go ahead and attack A. Z, yeah, he's not missing fire control. Nope, he just has no. That's fine. All right, locking on. He is 23 inches away, which means 2s. He only has a single 2 on that side, so single dice to attack with. Now we're attacking A. That's a 4. The screen, the force field, actually absorbs that. Causes no. So now we go back to the cruiser. So the cruiser's like, hey, how dare you? Decides to respond with 1, 2 of its own dice. Again, at these kind of ranges. Don't do it. So that's a hit. That's a single damage. So a single damage into Y. Take a look at Y real quick. It's Y. Single damage. That's not going to do much to it. But, anything can happen. Now we go back to the Destroyers team. They're going to go ahead and attempt to engage in this direction this time. Let's see if they're right. 18, not any better. So, unfortunately, poor Z here is only going to get a single dice to attack the cruiser with. And it doesn't work. The good news, though, is the cruiser can only respond in kind with 2 dice of its own because of the firing arc situation. So we get a single hit. Single hit into puts C kind of painful. We'll do damage control now. He has 1 system out of order. That's point defense. Going to try to roll damage control to see if he fixes it. He needs a 1 to fix it, and he's unable to. That remains out of commission. That is the end of that turn. So you can see how speed is useful, but it can mess you up when it comes to trying to do slightly smarter, slightly more tactical. So I can already see exactly what these two guys are doing. So let's go ahead and roll initiative. Right side of the table, left side of the table. Interesting. Try that again. 3 for left, 6 for right. So like the right side of the table / destroyers are going to go first. And they're just whittling each other down because the range is far. So the destroyers are opting to keep their speed at 6, but they're opting to close directly. I'm going to go ahead and do a part of our turn there, and we're at 6. It's actually a pretty clever maneuver. I'm kind of proud of this one. And now these guys are bringing their front guns directly to bear. Our cruisers are remaining at 6. They're going to go ahead and execute a fairly aggressive turn here. And they're going to close that range a little bit, keeping the broadside pretty much broad. This guy's going to opt to do the exact same maneuver. Close the range again. I don't think that quite puts him in the 4 arc, but I really wish I had the template on the actual table. But these guys clearly have a 4 arc. So now we shoot. So let's see, who's in the best condition here? He was unable to finish. Z cannot fire because he doesn't have fire control. So that would have been awesome if he could. So he's going to opt to let Y fire. So let's go ahead and check range. Range is 13, which means we can only use our 2s. We're going to get 2 dice in which attack. Sure. B. Miss. So now Cruiser B is going to return the favor. He only has 2 weapons in that arc right now. So he's also only going to get 2 dice with. So we get a 4 and we get a 1. So that's 1 hit on Y. Let's go Y. 1 hit. That is a threshold hit. So let's go ahead and roll. Phaser 2. The other phaser 2. The other phaser 1. The other phaser 1. The point defense system. The fire control. Bridge. Life support. Power plant. The FTL drive. Incredibly, that critical hit did nothing. So now it would automatically go over to Z, but Z has no fire control right now. He's desperately trying to fix that so that he can continue firing. So that means he is at the mercy of our A cruiser here, who can only use 2s, and it's only in the left arc, so it's only going to be need a 4 or better. So we get 1, 2 hits on Z. Taking a look at Z. Z has just been removed from the map. Playing Z. Good run. It was a good run. He's gone. And that is it for that round. So, taking a look at our situation here, Destroyer realizes that this is pretty hopeless. So, you got to ask yourself kind of an interesting question as a player. You know, do I want to basically go like this off the map as fast as possible? Do I want to kind of turn into him to like get into his rear arc and then arc out the next turn? You always want to pick the option that's going to be safest. Is the other guy going to anticipate that maneuver and try to bring something to bear? Keep in mind that this guy on the far side is still quite viable, and he could swing around, try to get him in the back, but it's going to be a bit of a ranger. So from my perspective, this cruiser B here got to do the best he can, try to make sure if he does try for a pass that he's actually going to be in a position to engage him. So you'll see how I solve that. Anyway, next round. Let's go ahead and roll some initiative. Left player, right player. Got a 5 against a 2. Looks like our cruiser's going to go first when we go do a minute. So now we're going to write down our orders. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and begin. So the cruiser, incredibly, has decided to slow down. That also means, whoa, I didn't mean to do that. There we go. That also means tiny little turning like this. And he's going to move actually, he's like that. Okay, so he turns like that. Our destroyer, of course, the one remaining, Y, immediately puts himself up to 12 so that he can peace out. And he did not anticipate the ship staying in his way. So he actually ordered the guy to go perfectly straight, which puts them at a stupidly point-blank range. Gonna be about that close. Meanwhile, other cruiser buddy realizes that there's some danger involved to what's going on. So he actually puts on speed. This is This is A. So A decides to put on some speed. He's going to go up to 10. He's also going to do a 2 5-point turn. Up 5 points. Part of a turn. He's going to the rest of the 5 points. Got to spin up in order to get in range. Okay, so if you remember now, Cruiser gets to fire first. So ironically, I don't get the better shot. 23, but all 3 weapons, that would be 3 dice. Cruiser B on the flip side gets 1, 2, 3, 4 dice. Yeah, so Cruiser B is going to go ahead and try to turn Y into space dust. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have to include our 2 phasers. Yeah, number 1s. Fire. Okay, so we can eliminate these pretty much. So that's 4 damage immediately. Before we roll, let's go ahead and see what 4 damage just for Y. And Y is removed. And that is it. So that is a quick little demo game. It's actually the game that comes out of the box if you want to go ahead and try it out yourself. It's kind of fun if you actually do it on a table because you to measure arcs. I know I made a couple mistakes in that regard, but in general, I thought that was a pretty fun game. It definitely moves quickly, and it's very, very easy to understand. All right, enjoy.